Good morning. It is a Wednesday morning and a chilly Wednesday morning. I think it was like 39 degrees when I woke up this morning when I went out for my morning errands and whatnot. So, thank you for joining me. It is 8 a.m. on Wednesday, December the 16th. Can you believe it? Halfway through December. My gosh. It's like zooming by. Can't believe it. And yesterday I was at a store, mask and whatnot. And somebody behind me asked, "When's Christmas?" I'm like, I mean, they were talking to each other, right? It was like, "What do you mean when's Christmas?" But I think he was saying it's like 9 days away, 10 days away. And yeah, it's crazy. I, however, have the luxury of having a daughter who's waited till like 2 days ago to give us her Christmas list. I'm like, I just want you to temper your expectations. It's like uh, usually these lists come in November or something, or at least early December. Anyway, but preferably in November. I may start asking for a Christmas list for next year on December 26th. That way I'll get it like by December 1st of next year. But thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. Today is part two of an article titled 19 Wise Quotes for a Better Life, and by Lydia Sweat off of success.com. It's got some really interesting quotes that we've seen. We went through the first nine on Monday, and it says basically it's 19 quotes from people who lived exceptional lives. Good morning, Mo. It says wisdom is a great source of power. It's through other stories of failure and success that we learn the most. It's through their experiences of things we've yet to witness that feeds us the knowledge we need to fly high, to build upon what we already know. There's little in life that a wise mind can't conquer, and it's the sage like guidance that inspires us to make our life that much better. So, we're going to kick it off with number 10 as we wrap up this particular article, which is really good. I liked it a lot so far. So, let's see what the rest of the article has in store for us. This next quote is from Albert Hubbard. It says, "Don't take life too seriously. You'll never get out of it alive." Now, you read the quote and you're like, that's kind of dark. It considering the content of that quote, I think we'd have to look at the context of the quote, right? And since the first line says "Don't take life too seriously," I'd have to take the second line with a grain of salt, right? Kind of with a tongue in cheek delivery. You'll never get out of it alive. That's the way I read that quote. So it's very true. It's got a very, very true statement there at the end. We're not getting out of life alive. Simple as that. So don't take life too seriously. What does that mean? That means if somebody uh, slights you or wrongs you or something happens to you, don't freak out about it. Don't make it. Don't let it throw you off your game, so to speak. Don't let it ruin your entire day just because somebody said something or something happened to you. Don't take it so seriously. And I think as we get older, for those of you that are a lot younger than me, all right, that sometimes we're when we're crafting our personality, when we're crafting our persona, our basically our veneer, right, that we show people because there's only a certain amount of people that see the real you, right? So when you're crafting your persona that you present to everybody, and it's kind of weird to think about it like this, but if you think about it, you're basically presenting a mask of your best self when you meet somebody and when you want to make an impression on somebody. So when you're growing up and you're crafting that, it's kind of fragile. And if somebody kind of throws a rock at that, and it can be shattered or at least momentarily shattered, and it can get you down. That's one of the things that can get you down. So don't take life too seriously. You'll never get out of it alive. Albert Hubbard is a great quote. So don't take it too seriously, folks. I mean, I got my Green Lantern coffee cup and great coffee today. That's good. Great way to start a Wednesday. Next quote, Nelson Mandela. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. Wow, going from Hey, Jeff Mantis, thank you for getting on. Appreciate it. Yeah, you are a perfect example of a person who's living his life. I love the videos with the cats. I love what you're doing for the animal shelter. It's just excellent stuff, and I thank you. I really do appreciate your friendship, Jeff. And you're it's awesome to see what's going on in your life right now, and I hope it gets better and better. And your success just keeps climbing. I really do appreciate it. This quote from Nelson Mandela: "If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head." Good morning, Sandra. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. So, what is his language, right? Or her language? Well, that's a language of their life experience, right? We all have a specific language that speaks to us. If somebody is more inclined to be a helpful person, if somebody's more inclined to be the one to rush in time of need, if you talk to somebody in that language, in their language, that's going to be going to the heart. They're going to accept you more so than just somebody who speaks English or who speaks Spanish or Portuguese with you or whatever, you know? So this quote is goes to the very, no pun intended, heart of the matter of how you speak to somebody. When we speak to people in our business, we talk about life changing stuff, you know? It's like we talk about it's like what do you want in your life? What are the goals and dreams that you have in your life? Because sometimes as we grow older, again, and this is a common thread in my talks, as we grow older, we forget that we have the capability and the ability to dream and to set goals and to want more for ourselves and our families, right? And it seems as time goes by, those goals and dreams and aspirations get muted and tamped down, and you know hey, you need to focus on your job. Hey, you need to focus on your work. Hey, you need to focus on getting your grades higher. You need to focus on whatever. And it's tamped down the, I don't know, I guess the innate desire for more, for goals, for dreams. And I ask people, it's like, when was the last time anybody asked you, what are your goals and dreams? We stop, especially when we have children, it seems, right? Because we want to make sure that their dreams are taken care of, that we nurture their dreams. And if you're a nurturing person, you absolutely understand what I'm talking about. That's what, now we're talking about the language of the heart. Because if you want your child to become a better person than you are, or at least become a contributing member of society that makes the world a better place, you want to do your part to make sure that happens. You want to nurture that. And if you can create or help shape an empathetic, nurturing person, human being, you're already doing something good for humanity. And ultimately, that's all we live for. That's we live for making humanity a better place. If you don't want to, that's entirely up to you. But that's what I'm living for. That's what I want to do. And we can't forget that if you're in that same kind of frame of mind, don't think that what you're doing, even if it's a tiny thing, don't think that it's significant. Don't think it's insignificant, because you matter. What you do matters. Who you are matters. Even if you aren't doing grand gestures and you aren't, building orphanages and schools, you being a good person matters. Why? Because you are on the right side of the scale. Are we good people 100% of the time? Probably not. I know I'm not. And that's a flaw that I have. And that's a flaw I'm sure many people have. But do you admit to yourself that you aren't a great person 100% of the time? I do. And I admit it to myself because I want to change. I want to do something to make myself better. That's why I read these type of quotes and kind of dig into them to give myself that understanding. And if wronged you personally, I apologize. I'm sorry. If I've helped you, I'm psyched. I'm happy. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. Nelson Mandela. Next quote. C.S. Lewis, Alice in Wonderland author. Nothing that you have not given away will ever really be yours. Nothing that you have not given away will ever be really yours. That's kind of like, you know, let them go. If they come back, they were yours. If not, they never. If they don't come back, they never were. Right? That's basically it. Have you ever given away your heart? Wow, that's deep, right? Have you ever given away your heart? Wow. Now, I'm not talking about, the love for just one single person, or somebody that you were attracted to or something like that, but actually just giving away your heart. It's like having kids, and for me, and that's just from personal experience. Not everyone has children. Some people choose not to have children, and they give their heart to each other, and they give their heart to their pets or their causes. Some people are unable to have children, and they love and give of themselves to their, nieces and nephews and cousins, kids, and again, another person and another cause. Nothing that you have not given away will ever be really yours. How many people give of their time? And some people shock me with how much they give of their time. It's incredible. It's beautiful to see, though, right? It really is. I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. you know, I'm kind of selfish. I do what I can to help other people. You know, I think quite a bit, not as much as others. But again, we're all wanting to improve and become better people, right? And I'm always going to be honest with you when I do these. It's just, that's what I want to do with this. So again, that was C.S. Lewis. Nothing that you have not given away will ever be really yours. Singleness of purpose is one of the chief essentials for success in life, no matter what may be one's aim. That's kind of deep. No, kind of. I don't know if I can get that one. You know what I mean? But the uh, the author of that quote is John D. Rockefeller. So talk about having purpose in one's life. Sometimes people are driven by money, desire for more. What is that aim? I don't know, but they want more. Singleness of purpose is one of the chief essentials for success in life. See, now we're talking for success. What do you consider success? Do you consider success your positive impact in the world, or do you consider success monetary? Do you consider success how many people you can help achieve their dreams, their goals and dreams, or how much success you can have despite, regardless of what happens to anybody else? How do we define success in life? That's a bigger question in that one. Singleness of purpose is one of the chief essentials for success in life, okay? No matter what may be one's aim. So, yeah, whether it's monetary, personal, enrichment of oneself or others, we've seen that time and time again in our history of selfless people who have a singleness of purpose and determine that the success in their life is based on how much they were able to help either individuals or help change something that was affecting individuals in a negative way in order to benefit them or benefit humanity. Singleness and purpose. Singleness of purpose is one of the chief essentials for success in life, no matter what may be one's aim. John D. Rockefeller. Mark Twain. What a way with words. Let's see what he has for us today. Wordsmith extraordinaire, right? The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. Wow, man, it goes back to purpose. Why am I emotional today? I don't know what it is. I'm not a cheerleader, When I do these, I'm not a cheerleader. I'm just trying to explore the human mind and the human condition and how we can help better ourselves and better the world. Good morning, Kathy. The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. Mark Twain, do you know why you're on this earth? I'd venture to say 99.9% of us never find out. Never realize why we were put on this earth. The eternal question, why? Why am I here? It's like, how many times have we seen something written where it's like, this person passes away and winds up before God or the eternal intelligence or higher being. Why am I here? Why was I here? It's like if you could ask God a single question, why am I here? Imagine finding that purpose in your life and then realizing that those burdens that you feel, the longing that you have, is because you just never realized why you were here, why you were born. I'd like to think as a generic term, kind of a generic path that we can take that may help us realize why we were born is thinking of others first. When you think of others first, it doesn't mean think of others 100% of the time at the cost of you. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being empathetic, being caring, being helpful, not being selfish, taking the ego out. Wow, man, I'm seeing that, like how I'm not that sometimes. Wow. Think of others first and think how your actions impact somebody else and how you can make a difference in the world. Start at home. Start at home with your kids. Start at home with your spouse, your partner, your family, your parents. You can change your parents too, right? It's like, that's old style thinking. It's a new world. And be blunt with them, especially if you're an adult. You can. Some may not take it, may not be receptive to being challenged, having their way of thought challenged by their offspring, but you can make a change. The two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. Mark Twain. Aristotle. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. And you wonder why they're thought of as great thinkers, right? Leaving no doubt in the mind. Why? Head knowledge, heart knowledge, they go hand in hand. Head knowledge without the heart knowledge is lacking, basically. That's just basically the root of empathy, I think. Empathizing with somebody, empathizing with what they're going through, instead of like, too bad, too bad for you. I'm getting mine. Let's be empathetic. The truth is, if you want to make the world a better place, and I'm not talking about forcing your views on anybody else or, it's my way or the highway. I'm not talking about anything like that. If you want to make the better place, be a better person. Care for the suffering, care for the weak. Care for yourself. When was the last time anybody asked you, are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking care of yourself mentally, spiritually, emotionally? A lot of people can be empathetic to a fault, to a degree that's beyond needs to be. It needs to be. And they forget that they need to take care of themselves as well. I think it was Mother Teresa, the dark time of the soul, right? When somebody's empathetic, when somebody's a service in service of others all the time, you get burned out. No matter how good a saint, for crying out loud, right? No matter how empathetic or how giving you are, you can get burned out. And if you start getting burned out, when people start demanding of you to be caring and empathetic, it starts grating on you. And it starts becoming like, you know, this is coming from me because I want to give it, not because you're demanding it. And it could cause, the gears to kind of grind, right? And that has to do with not taking care of yourself. You have to be in tip top condition spiritually, emotionally, mentally to be able to be something to others. Mental health professionals, the people that deal with the most difficult times in other people's lives, our frontline workers, our law enforcement, all that, they need to make sure that their needs are taken care of. And then we have to fight the stigma of people getting help for, if they feel mentally off kilter, and there's that. So it keeps people from asking for help. You have to make sure that you're right inside so you can continue to help, especially if that's your chosen way to help the world. Take care of yourself. You matter. You make a difference in this world. Kind of went off topic on that one, but the quote was this: educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Aristotle. Franklin D. Roosevelt. There are many ways of going forward, but only one way of standing still. You can choose how you're going to live your life. You can choose how you're going to benefit mankind. You can choose how you're going to feed and clothe and water your family. You can choose what kind of person you're going to be. Teacher, doer, builder, consoler, helper. You decide. Destroyer. Nobody's going to stop you from choosing which way you're going to go forward. If your way of going forward is causing destruction and devastation and is not helpful to humanity, then yeah, humanity may be like, nope, this is not what we want, and we're gonna do our best to make sure that does not continue, right? And same thing, if you're going to be helping people, then there may be people who do not want you helping, do not want you to make the world a better place. These kind of ideas are just, it's things that people don't usually think about. There is a good and evil. There is people who want to better life. There's people who want chaos, who thrive on chaos, who want disruption in a negative way. Let's be disruptive in a positive way. There are many ways of going forward, but only one way of standing still. Franklin D. Roosevelt. George C. Marshall. When a thing is done, it's done. Don't look back. Look forward to your next objective. Living in the past, right? My past glories. We all have them. I did this, I did that, did the other. What are you doing now? What's your next objective? And again, it goes back to goals and dreams. What's your next dream? What's your next goal? What do you want to achieve? How are you going to make the world a better place? How are you going to make your family a better place? How are you going to make yourself a better person? I'm going to learn a new language. Sweet. I know two, and I've dabbled in a third. Je parle un peu de français. That's about it. When the thing is done, it's done. Don't look back. Look forward to your next objective. I enjoy looking back, and I don't think it's to the degree of a fault, but my arrogance may be that fault that keeps me from thinking that way. Oh my gosh, it's so convoluted. No, I enjoy looking back, but I also enjoy looking back to learn. Learn about me if I need to change of the way I used to be. When a thing is done, it's done. Don't look back. Look forward to your next objective. George C. Marshall. Getting close to the end here. Last two, I believe. Henry Van Dyke. Use what talents you possess. The woods would be very silent if no birds sang there except those that sang best. Hey, this is a creative soul. I read somewhere, and this was a while back, but I found it to be very true because as in our society, we're born to, we're kind of pushed to be consumers, right? Consume this, consume that, binge this, buy that. But somebody said, and I read somewhere, it was something to the effect of not every hobby needs to be monetized, right? You don't have, just because you like something doesn't mean you have to do it to sell, or to make money. It's like, oh, you can play guitar. Why don't you play at the, at the restaurant? Oh, you can paint how much you sell them for. Oh, you can yarn how much, not every hobby has to be monetized. Not every hobby that you start has to be perfect. You don't have to excel at everything you try or do. I have a guitar back there, a couple guitars back here, and I can strum a few chords. I'm no, Jeff Dunn, who was here earlier. I don't know if he's still here. Master guitarist, you know what I mean? But I can strum a couple of chords. That's because I enjoyed it. I've always wanted to pick up a guitar and strum and make it sound nice, not like I'm strangling a creature. People who draw and paint just do it for pleasure, not necessarily because they need to open an exhibit or sell at a, what do you call those? Farmer's market or whatever. Use what talents you possess. The woods would be very silent if no birds sang there except those that sang best. Yeah, we love those that sing the best. We love those that excel at what they do. We cheer them on. We love to see the talent. It's like touching God, man. When you see it, it's beautiful. And then when you see someone like Jeff who sits down and says, this is how I did this, and this is how you play that, it's like I'm sitting there going, even though you're explaining it to me, I wouldn't be able to do it, right? But it's awesome to see, and I appreciate that as someone who appreciates talent. Basketball players and, even athletes and just people who can speak without a script. Our Monsignor at our church, when he does the homilies, he's just out there, script free, and he's just talking, and the thoughts are connected and they're beautiful, and the message is there, and he reaches back and he quotes a scripture. And it's awesome to see. I love seeing talent, skateboarders, and anything like that. So just use your talents, use them for your pleasure, and sometimes for the pleasure of others. Use what talents you possess. The woods would be very silent if no birds sang there, except those that sang best. Henry Van Dyke. Last one for today. In the wise quotes for a better life, Abraham Lincoln. In the end, it's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years. I've heard that before. I didn't know it was Abraham Lincoln. In the end, it's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years. People who pass away at an early age, or what we consider an early age, when we see people living to 80s, 90s, 100, that did significant things with their life. Or you see someone who had that potential, like Selena, right? You see that that new series on Netflix. She was, 25 years old, 20-some years old, 23. And she had so much potential ahead of her. And you see that time and time and again. Musicians, right? Especially, unfortunately, and it really ticks me off in a selfish way when musicians of such talent take their life, or lose their life at a young age. Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, and Scott Weiland, and Chester Bennington, and Chris Cornell, and so many examples, and many more that I probably knew and have forgotten. But then there's the ones who live their life with purpose, you know. The life in your years, like William Wallace said, it's like every man dies, not every man truly lives. So what are we doing with the time we have? I don't know how many more years, how many more days, seconds, or minutes I have left. Neither do you. So what are you doing with your time? What are you doing? I'm not asking you again to become an astrophysicist or a brain surgeon. I'm just talking about doing the best with the time that you have in this world and making a positive difference in the world. And that's all I think we can hope. For people to make the world a better place, even if it's in a small degree. I thank you for joining me today for part two of the 19 wise quotes for better life. I really enjoyed this article, and I thank you for joining me today. If you can, please share my video. I'd love for more people to see it, and I'd love to be able to talk to more people and have them hear these types of quotes and hopefully make a difference in their lives. On Friday, I think we're going to be talking about something having to do with fear, overcoming fear. I think that's what we're going to be doing. So hopefully you can join me here at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I hope you enjoyed your time with me this morning. Have a fantastic day wherever you are, wherever in the world you are. And Jeff, I thank you for being here. I really do appreciate you. And the rest of you, thank you for being here as well. And until Friday, when we speak again, we'll be talking.